Hello. Yeah, it just wasn't, yeah, basically muted. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, restarting that whole thing. Thank you for the birthday wishes and thank you for thank you for the cake and presents. And especially thank you to, yeah, I look younger with the beard shaved, of course. This shirt isn't doing much for me either. It looks a little bit like a schoolboy shirt. It is an old shirt for sure. Uh, yeah, sorry about the conflict of the streams, Zeta's and mine. I I completely forgot that Zeta streams on Wednesday, and then I set this stream at literally the time that Zeta starts, and then I realized, well, I need to change that because I don't want to conflict too much, so I moved it about 4 hours later than him starting. I know he either goes for 4 hours or 8 hours. I can never remember which is which, but I don't really care if you guys watch Zeta stream instead. It's totally fine with me. But anyways, we have 4 puzzles up today, so let's just get into them. There's the first one by Panthera, and it is using Japanese sums. Yes, looking forward to more setting series. Thank you, David, for mentioning that in Zeta stream as well. I look forward to them as well. I really like doing those, and I can't wait to interview Kodak. I've been thinking about it all day. Okay, so normal Sudoku rules apply. It says that twice, just to be sure. It says that twice. Yes, tomorrow is, of course, Kodak's interview, which will be fun. Normal Sudoku rules apply twice, apparently. Normal two-color Japanese sum rules apply. So Japanese sums are, how do I explain this? Well, it says here that clues outside the grid sum the continuous runs of shaded cells in the row or column. So if I were to do this, for example, then that would mean, or wait, I guess this. That would mean that this 16 refers to these 3 cells, the 9 would refer to the next set of contiguous cells, and the 12 would refer to the other set of contiguous cells. And if I had a break here, it would be sort of the same thing, but this wouldn't be included in any of these sums. Okay, so that is basically all you need to know for Japanese sums. It says that if the clue is black, then both colors must be present in the row or column. There must be an unshaded cell between runs of the same color, of course, because it's continuous runs of colors. So I couldn't do that, for example, and have these two sum to, or well, these 3 sum to 15 and this one sum to 2. That wouldn't work. There's no 2 clues in either of the single color ones, so I can't really give an example of those, but there's no need for unshaded cells between runs of different colors. So if I had something like that, I wouldn't need an unshaded cell to differentiate the colors because they're obviously different colors. Anyways, so let's get into this. I'm not great at Japanese sums. Also, the colors to be used in this puzzle are sky blue and purple. That's my fiance's favorite color. Sky blue and purple is my favorite color. So Panthera doing her research before setting this puzzle, obviously. Uh, and it says that sometimes anyone who has 2 cats should recognize that they sleep sometimes like this. So we should find some kind of cat in this grid. And I have 2 cats, of course. And that's why Panthera mentions that. And they're sleeping very funny right now. So hopefully we find a replica of them in the grid. Anyways, let's get going. So we know that in this column and this column, all the shaded cells are going to be blue. So these 2 are definitely not shaded. I'll do gray for not shaded. Maybe it's a picture of UNTNC. That could be it. We also know, and these 2 are unshaded because if they were shaded, they would either have to be purple to be in the row with only purple, or they would have to be blue to be in the column with only blue. And they can not be both of those things at the same time, so they have to be unshaded. because there is no blue clue in this column, in this row. So now, where should we look for? We should probably look for anything that sums to 45, because then we can make sure, because if a row summed to 45, then that means that there are no unshaded cells. They all have to be clued cells. So 19 plus 3 plus 13 plus 10 is 45. So this one sums to 45, so there are no unshaded cells in this row. So these two cells in particular have to be blue, and these two cells have to be purple to make this entire row shaded. So now we know that 26 can be 4 cells. It can't be 3 cells, but we don't get anything from that because we need it to be at least 5 cells to get this cell. We know that 19, which is the first clue here, is at least 3 cells, so we get that this is definitely in this set of 3 digits. Now, if we had the 19 going 4 cells over, we could have just 3 here and the 10, or the 13 and then the 10. That would work. This 7 clue could be at most 3 cells, so we can never reach these cells. So those are gray. What else can we do? We know that the 10 is 4 cells at most, so it can never reach that cell. Okay, let's look for other columns and rows that sum to 45, so we can do the same sort of thing. That doesn't work. 6 plus 19 plus 2 plus 18 is 45, so this one also sums to 45. So these two are purple again. I keep saying pink and then trying to correct myself. Now this 6 is actually not that interesting, but the 18 on the other side is interesting because that means that this has to be at least 3 cells in order to sum to 18, because if you did 2 cells, that would be 8 and 9 sum to 17 at most. So you need at least 1 more cell for the 18 to be working. The 7 can't reach this cell anymore, because then it would be 4 cells at the minimum and 4 cells sum to 10 at least. Now we are into this column at least. The 10 can't reach this cell anymore because that would mean it's 5 cells, and 5 cells sum to 15 at least. Yeah, I thought about doing it once or twice as well. I did a couple from that Patreon pack, but I'm very terrible at solving them as well. Okay, so this actually sums to 45 as well. So we can also do those and also do those, which means that, well, this 7 has to be complete, and it has to be 1, 2, 4. That's the only way of making 7. Hello, Kodak. Welcome. This 10 can't reach this cell anymore, for sure. Yeah, we were just saying how excited we are for your interview tomorrow. Now, 18 and 27 seems very... So 27. 27 needs at least 4 cells, I think. You could make 4 cells out of 27, right? Because 7 plus 8 plus 9 is 24, so that plus 6 is 30, right? You can make 4 cells out of 30, but one of them is 1, 2, or 4. So if we did 4 plus 7 plus 8, that would be 28, so it's just close enough. Yeah, no pressure at all. 18 could be 5 cells for sure. 26 needs to be at least 4 cells, as we discussed before. What about this 18 and 3? That sums to 40. So there, in this column, there's a sum of 5 that is unshaded. Not sure what to do with that, but it's kind of interesting. We need to find a column that is 45 so that we can get this 1 in the bottom of the column. 12 plus 20 plus 7 is 39. 16 plus 12 is 37. 15 plus 11 plus 2 is only 28. What about 30? 30 needs at least 4 cells, but we don't get anything from that. What's the maximum that 30 can be? 30 can be 7 cells at maximum, because these 2 cells could add to 15. Although we know that, so this column and this column, those added up to pretty high numbers, I think. So in column 3, we need 5 as the outies, and column 4, we need 3 as the outies. So one of those is definitely going to use the 1. Or sorry, one of those is, sorry, my bad. One of those is not going to use the 1, right? They need to add to 3 in this column. So either it's a singular 3, or it's a 1-2 pair, and the 1 can't be at the bottom. I don't know, is that useful? It's kind of weird. Kind of a weird thing. I'm not sure how useful that is. What about this? Can this be part of the 18 sum is an interesting question. I don't think so, because then if this was part of the 18 sum, then this would have to be the 3 sum, and this would have to be the 19 sum. And 19 can't have a 1 in it. So that wouldn't work. And also that would mean that these are blue, and this is purple, which doesn't match with this color. So that actually doesn't work. So this definitely is not the 18 sum. Oh, and it's not the 3 sum. Oh no, it could be the 3 sum if it was a 1-2 pair. Although this 6, I didn't even look at this. This is either 1, 2, 4, 1, 5, or it's 1, 2, 3 right here, right? What about this 21 and 12 now? Because that's missing 2 cells. It's missing 2 cells here. And the outies add to 12. So the outies could just be those 2 cells. Oh, it does say that if the clue is black, then it needs to be at least 2 colors. So we know that there's at least blue and purple in all of these two clue columns, or 2 clue rows. Is that helpful? As you can see, I'm not very good at Japanese sum Sudoku. It's probably something obvious I'm missing. Maybe this. Oh, the 2 is going to be a singular 2, right? So that definitely can't be a 2. There's definitely, oh, and this can't be a 2. Oh, and it can't have a 2 in it. Oh, okay, so that's an obvious point. So somewhere in here, in these 3 cells, there's a 2 actually in these, oh, wait, exactly there. Wait, this is all forced. This is actually all forced because the 6 needs 2 cells, the 19 needs 3 cells, the 2 needs a 1 cell, and the 18 is already 3 cells. So that's just forced. I don't know how I didn't see that before, but that is just forced. So, which I've said about 10 times now. So this is a 1, 5 because it can't have a 2. So that's a 4 because the 1 is gone and the 2 is gone. Now this 4 needs to add with these 2 to 18. So these 2 need to add to 14, which there's only 2 ways to do 5, 9, or 6, 8. And 5, 9 is no longer an option because there's a 5 over here. So it must be 6, 8, which leaves 9, 3, and 7 left over for the sum to 19, which does sum to 19. Nice. Okay. So that was very helpful to do. So what is going on here? So this sum is going to be the 16 sum because we can't fit... Oh, wait, we could do... No, because if we did this, right, that would be summing to 16. So it would need to be a 7, 9 pair. But then this cell would sum to 9 and would have to be a 9. And that's going to use the 9 twice. So we know that this cell belongs to the 16 sum and must go up to at least be 7, 9 or something like that. Now, this cell is in the 9 sum, so it must also go down. And that's either going to be one cell adding to 7 or multiple cells adding to 7. So it could be more than one cell, but it can't be 3 cells long. The 10 in row 5 can't have a 2 in it. Either it's going to be 2, can't be 2, 8, and it can't be, why can't it be 2, 3, 5? Oh, because there's a 3 in the row. Oh, the 3 in the row now, that's in this clue, must be in one of these 2 cells because it's the second clue along here. And it must be pink, of course, and it's not going to be this one because it's going to go blue, pink, blue, pink. So the 3 is in here, which means there's no 3 here. So that is a 3. Oh, and it's also a solitary 3 because if it was not a solitary 3, it would need to be a 1-2 pair, but this is a 1-2, and there's also a 2 in the box. So this can't be a 1-2 pair, of course. Now that this is a 3, now we know that this can't be a 2, because if this was a 2, this can't be an 8, of course. So then these 2 cells would have to add to 8, but they can't be 2, 6, they can't be 3, 5, and they can't be 1, 7 for some reason. Why can't they be 1, 7? Okay, never mind. They can be 1, 7, but that's the only possibility. Oh, that is interesting, though, because that means that there is a 1 in here. Hello, Logan, and hello, Kagijo. There is a 1 in here, because either this is a 2, and there's a 1, 7 here, or this is a 1. So there definitely is a 1 in here. So there is a 1 down here. This cell and this sum does not belong to this 2, and it can't belong to the 11 because there's not enough room for a 2 and a 15 up here, so it must belong to the 15, which means that this cell and whatever cell it joins to up here or down here must sum to either 9 or 7, which is not that helpful, but it's fine. Oh, wait. This is no longer a 4, right? Which I think means that 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 2 is 26. That's not enough for these 4 cells to add to 27. So this cell has to be in because even if you max these out, 7, 8, 9, that's 24 plus 2 is only 26, not 27. So you need at least one more cell to add up to 27. 18 can't be 2 cells, so it needs to be at least 3 cells. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but we didn't. So, oh, this 3 does that one. So this is the 18 clue, and this is the 19 clue. So the 19 clue needs to be at least 3 cells. The 18 clue also needs to be at least 3 cells. Now those leave over 5 because they sum to 40 in total. 18 plus 3 plus 19 equals 40. So either this pair is a 1-4 pair because it can't be a 2-3 pair, or this is a 5. So that's not a... Sorry, this is either a 4 or a 5 because it can't be a 1 because the 1 in this row is going to be shaded and not unshaded. This is why I think Japanese sum Sudoku just messes with my head because there's these weird deductions like, oh, this is a 1-4 pair or a 5, but this can't be a 1 because of the 1 in the row. Like, it's hard. And even the thing that Tallcat missed, it's just really hard sometimes. It is fun though. I'm having fun. And can we see the cat forming? I can't exactly see the cat yet, but oh wait, this cell. This cell is either a 2 or a 3 because the 3 can't be 2 cells because that would be a 1, 2, and then this can't be a 2. So, and it can't be a 3 by itself because this is a 3. So that cell is definitely a 2. And that means that this is unshaded because the 3 comes after the 2. Oh yeah, did I even mention that, hello Malrog, that the things come in order. That's super important. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but that's really important. But hopefully some of you are familiar with Japanese sum Sudoku, or if you're not, then you say, hey, I don't know what's going on, and then we'll help you out. These two sum to 16, and they can't repeat a digit, so they have to be 7, 9, because these whole 3 sum to 18. So then down here, oh wait, where does the 1 go? Oh, it could go in one of those 2 cells. The 1 and the 5 are down here though. There's 5 and 1 because of this 1, 5, and there's no 1, 5 up here. The column 6 clue is 16 clue can't be 2 cells, but oh, because uniqueness. Nice. Because uniqueness. Because these can't be broken. Just kidding. We're not using that. There's some reason why this can't be 7, 9. Probably breaks the other sums in the column. Although this cell does not belong to the 6 clue, right? So the 6 clue is above here, and this cell belongs to the 18 clue. I thought that was going to be useful, but no. Oh, this cell belongs to the 18 clue. This is another 18 clue. So these 2 cells sum to the same thing as these 2 cells. That's interesting. So these cells either sum to 11 or 9. Everything's really interesting. It's just not doing anything. Maybe we look at this again. If this was 4 cells, is that a problem? I don't know. Maybe? Maybe? The 13 definitely needs another cell in here, but I'm not sure which cell. This is either a 7 or these 3 cells sum to 9, so it would have to be a 1 here and a 6 here. Oh, but it can't be a 7 because there's a 7 in the box already. So this does extend. So this is a 6 and a 1. Oh, okay. That was a lot simpler than we were making it. What does that column sum to already? It's 37, so the leftovers are going to be 8. 8. So we've already used up 2, 6, and 1, 7, so we only have 3, 5, or a singular 8 to like fill in the gaps with. Because this column, the empty cells, the ones that are not shaded, they sum to 8. I think it's probably going to be an 8 by itself, but either that or a 3, 5. 12 needs at least 2 cells, then it needs to be down here, so that cell definitely needs to be shaded because either it's going to be like that, it's going to be like that, or it's going to be all 3 of these cells. The 9 can't be 2, 3, 4 because the 3 in this box is taken by this 3 clue in the row. I'm assuming that's the 9 you're referring to. I didn't even mention it, Malrog, because I just sort of assumed there was 3 here. Well, I mean, I didn't assume there was a 3 here. There was a 3 there, so I didn't mention that. It couldn't be 2, 3, 4. This 6 is part of the 13 clue, so it either needs a 7 with it. That 7 cannot be here. It either needs a 7 or it needs 2 cells that add to 7. But I think maybe 2 cells that add to 7 is going to be an issue as well. Yes, okay. Hello, Ambrose. Welcome. Your puzzle is in a little while. I thought you were going to be late. Hello, Kurban. Thank you. Thank you for your birthday wishes. So if these two sum to 7, then we're going to have to use, we can't use 3, 4 because the 3 in the row is taken. Meeting was short, okay. But we're definitely not done the first two puzzles. I suck at Japanese sum Sudoku, so we're stuck on the first one for a while. They're definitely not 3, 4, and they're definitely not 1, 6 because the 6 is taken already. So they're either 2, 5 or it's just a 7. Now the 2 can't go over here. Or sorry, it can't go over here. Sorry, the 2 would have to go over here. So either this is 2, 5 or this is a 7. So this cell is always 2 or 7. It's never a 1. Oh wait, if this was a 2, then we knew that it had to be 1, 7, right? So now, if this is a 2, this is a 7, but it belongs to this. That's really confusing, but really interesting. So this is a 1 now. And when this cell always belongs to this. Yes, this cell definitely always belongs to this. Okay, let's go through that one more time, just really slower so that, yeah. So this 13 clue here is definitely this blue one because it's going to go 19, 3, 13. Or however many cells the 13 is. Now the 13 has a 6 in it already. So it either has a 7 or 2 cells add to 7 in there. That can't be a 7, so if it is a 7, the 7 is right here. But if it has 2 cells that add to 7, it needs to be these 2 cells. So that cell is definitely blue. Now this can no longer be a 2 because that can't be an 8. So this is a 1 and this is a 9. Now this is either a 7 or it's a 2 with a 5 over here. So this one is either a 3 or a 5 because if this was a 7, this would be a 3 because that would be done. Or if this was a 5, this would be a, or sorry, if this is a 2, this would be a 5. Row 9, column 3 is gray. Yep, that's true. That is true. I forgot to fill that in. Row 7, column 4 is blue. Yeah, that's totally true because the 21 clue, or I should probably explain why this is gray. This is gray because it's not 1. But this one is blue because 21 is at least 3 cells long. And this is definitely the first clue in here because we can't fit 21 in this cell. So this is at least 3 cells long, which means this cell has to be blue. Row 6, column 4 is also blue because... Oh, 28. 28 can't be in 3 cells because 3 cells is 7, 8, and 9, which is 24 at maximum. So this cell has to be blue to make this at least 4 cells. Now that these two are blue, we actually know, because this one is definitely not the 6 sum, that this one and this one sum to 18. 18 needs to be at least 3 cells long, so if this was blue, these 3 would have to be blue, and this would be a 6. But what is the leftovers in this column? I think it's 3 is the leftover? Yes. So these cells, the 6 plus the 18 plus the 18 sum to 42, which means that the leftovers in this column sum to 3. Now, if they sum to 3, they're either a 3 by itself or a 1-2 pair. I don't know where I was going. I thought I had a point. Didn't have a point. Row... Oh, this is definitely gray because it can't be 1, like Kagisho is saying. Row 3, column 4 is purple. Oh, of course, because the 18 is at least 3 cells, so this one has to go up to at least here, because 7 plus... Why do I keep saying 7? 8 plus 9 is at most 17, which is 2 cells, so it needs to be at least 3 cells. Does anyone see the cat yet? Or the camel? Does anyone see the camel? Okay. So I don't know what to do now. Well, we know that... Oh, this cell. When did we get that this cell was purple? This cell is... Did we get that this cell's purple? Where did we get that from? Oh, right, we did get that. Oh, so now this is gray, so this is purple, which means these two sum to 12. We did get that because of there needs to be a 12 down here. So I guess these two are just purple, right? Yeah, exactly. Uh, I totally ignored chat for a second and you guys were screaming at me. So this is either 3, 9, 4, 8, or 5, 7, which is all the options for 12. But the outies for this column, what are the outies for this column? 16 plus 12 plus 9 is 37. So the outies are 8, which means that either this is a 3-5 pair, this is a 7-9, and this is a 4-8. Or this cell is an 8. And then the sum just works magically, I guess. So that's useless. But this cell is a 3, 5, or 8, I guess. Thank you, SPQ. Welcome to the stream. Row 7, column 7 can't be gray. Why not? If it was gray, then... Well, this one is definitely not the 2, right? And it's definitely not the 11, so this is definitely a 2. So that's a 5. That's blue. This is a 3, which is purple. So this 3 plus this digit plus either this digit or 2 more digits has to add to 18. So this is either 10, which would make this an 8, or have these two sum to 8. Not sure about that. Or this is a 9, which means that this one sums to 6 or has a 6. Thank you, Kagisho. The 12th clue in box 8? Oh, interesting. I think what Kagisho is saying is that if this cell is gray, then this thing comes over here, right? Which means that the sum of these two cells is 12. But also, in this column, the sum of these two cells is 12. So let's just put a 4 here and see what happens. That means that these two cells have to be 8, because these both sum to 12. But that puts 2 8s in that box, which is kind of weird, because that means that this is purple, but it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that this is gray and that these two cells are the same. This cell could still be purple. We could even have that cell be purple as well, which is weird. So we know that this cell is purple. So in this column, what does this 5 belong to? Well, it either belongs to the 20 or it belongs to the 7. But if it belongs to the 7, then we need to fit 20 and 12 up here. That's definitely not going to work. So it belongs to the 20. So it needs to grow at least 2 cells, because 1 cell can't add to 15. So then we're either going to have a 7 down here or 2 cells that add to 7. This cell can't be a 7, because it would be a 1 then. So if this cell was purple, then it would be a 1. So either this cell... So this cell is always purple, because if it wasn't purple, then we couldn't fit a 7 down here at all. So this cell is either going to be purple with this cell and be a 1 and a 6, or this cell is going to be purple by itself and be a 7 alone. So it's either 6 or it's 7. Blue in row 6 can't be separated by gray. It does say in the rules that you need to have 2 colors in every row, that in row 6. Oh, this cell. I see. Okay, yeah. But there is a pink in here somewhere. Now, pink can't be over here. Right, okay, so in this row, we need to have pink somewhere, because it said, or purple, sorry, purple. Because it says in the rules that a black clue must have both colors present in the row or column. So then this cell and this cell, my bad, must be pink, and they must add to 10, because we must have a pink in the row, and these 2 columns are entirely blue, as these clues say. So these 2 have to be pink, and they have to add to 10, and there's only one way of doing that, and it doesn't include a 5, so it's a 3, 7. So now the outies in this row are going to add to I'm just going to do it just in case I'm an idiot. 7. Yes, that's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure. So there's either a 2 over here or 2 cells that add to 2. So there's a 2 over here, essentially. And that 2 is gray, and it's the only gray in the row, so that is the 2. Because we couldn't have the 2 be in this cell, because then that would be blue, and that would not work. Oh, so now this is a gray 2 in this column. So this can no longer be 4 cells that add to 10, because we would need 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would include a 2. So that's gray. These 2 cells either add to 9, or they... Well, this can't be a 5, actually, because if this is a 5, the only way of making these 2 cells... Oh, wait. No, you could still do 1, 4. How have we not filled in this 2? How have we... What? We spent so long not filling that in. That is so bizarre that my brain did not fill that in. Sorry, I haven't been reading the chat. Row 6, column 5. Oh, you did mention that? Oh, my word. Must be an 8? Well, there's definitely 2 cells in here which have to be 4 or 8. Now, if this was a 4, then these 3 cells have to add to 20, but these 2 cells add to 9, so this would have to be an 11. So that is an 8. That's a 4. This cell is 7. That's a 6. That's a 9. That's a 1. That's pink. This is 9 with 2 cells that add to 3. No, 1 cell that adds to 3 because there's a 1 in the column. So that is a 3. And these are unshaded. And these are unshaded because there's a 3 in the box and there needs to be a shaded 3 in the row. So there is a 3 in one of these 2 cells that aligns with that 3. So where do we put a 3 in this column? Down here. This one means that these are all unshaded. Row 5 can be complete. I'm sure it can. There's 4, 7, and 8 to put in. That's definitely not a 7. This is a 6 and a 9. That's definitely not a 9, so that's a 6, that's a 9. I don't see how to complete this, but I'm sure there's some way. I mean, if that's 7, these have to add to 3, and that does not work. So that can't be 7 or 8, so that must be a 4. 8 and 7 go in. These 2 add up to 6, which means this has to be a 1, 5, same as that digit, because these also sum to 6. This is getting better, huh? It's well, not getting better. It's been great the whole time, but it's flowing a lot smoother, I think. At least for my brain, my smooth brain. So this is definitely not the sum to 5. So this is the sum to 10. So we either need 2 cells which add to 4 or a single 4. So this is either 4 or 3 because this 1 does not allow this to be a 1. Now this 3, 4 means that this cell has to be in a relationship with this that adds to 12, which means this that this is an 8 or a 9. I can't speak for some reason. The 6, row 8, column 8 is gray. I believe that. And there's a blue over here somewhere, and it's got to be a blue 5. That's definitely going to be... Wait. That actually can't be this cell. If that actually can't be this cell either. Oh, wait. No, it could be 2 cells that add to 5. No, it can't be 2 cells that add to 5. Because if it was 2 cells that add to 5, it would need to be like that, right? So this would need to be a 1, 4. But the 1, 4 eliminates 4 from here, which can't be with the 6 now. So we'd have to do 3 and 1, but that clashes with the 1. So it can't be 1, 4. It needs to be a singular 5, and that 5 does not go there because there's a 5 in the box in one of these 3 cells. We have that pencil marked for some reason. That 5 could go here, but it can't even go here because if the 5 went here, then this would be a 4. But this now doesn't add up because we needed 5 outside, not 4. So that's not blue. That is a 1, 4 pair, which goes in this order. That's a 5, and this is the blue 5 that we were looking for. And now this has a 1 in the row, so this has to be a singular 4. It can't sum to 4 anymore. These 2 cells have to add up to 11. So this is either a 4 or a 9. Or, no, sorry, an 8. Sorry. But this is an 8. So that's a 4, and that's a 7, and that's a 3. 6 clue in column 4 is resolved. It's a 6 alone. Thank you, Ambrose. So that's a 2. These two add up to 15. So this has to be 8, 7. It can't be 6, 9, of course, because there was a, well, there's a 9 in the box already. Row 7, column 4 is a 9, I believe it. Yeah, this adds up to 18. So these 2 cells are 1, which goes there because this 1, and a 2. So this cell should be resolved. It's a 3. So that cell has to be a 5 because the outies in this column add to 8. This cell, these 2 cells are 7 and 9, which is not a deadly pattern with this because it will be resolved by the row clues. These 3 cells add up to 18. Actually, these 2 cells add up the same as these 2 cells. So if this was 9, nah. I'm just going to ignore that for a second. I don't know why I lost my mind there. But do these sum to 21 already? 16 plus 5, that is 21, so that is gray. These sum to 12 already, so that is gray. There's no 3 in that cell. Row 3, column 1 is known. Oh, column 1. Can't it be 1, 8? Oh. Never mind. Okay, so the only way this could be 1 is if these sum to 9 and these sum to 9 using 1 and 8. If this was 9, obviously these sum to 11, and 1 plus 10 is not a valid fill, so this can't be a 1 either way because there is an 8 here. And I didn't notice that, so I tried to put it in, and it immediately yelled at me, which is kind of hilarious. So these 2 sum to the same as these 2. So this is either a 4 to sum to 9, or it's a 6 to sum to 11. I don't know which one that is, but it's one of those 2 for sure. Hello, Prime Weasel. Welcome to the stream. Oh, and hello, Tom Hartley. That's a funny name. There's a 3 in this column, which I just noticed by looking back here. So that's a 3. This cell, we should know, is a 4. These 2 cells are 4, 6, and 1. So that is 1 or 6, and that's 1, 4, or 6. But this one really interests me because now these 2 can't sum to 15 by themselves, so it needs another cell. If this was 6, 1, then obviously that's 7, so this would have to be an 8 or a 5 if this joined here. Okay, this is way too much. Way too much case checking now. Oh, are the cats sleeping like together? Like like an unsavory position. Okay, anyways, so sum to 30, sorry. So these already have 12 in them, so the rest of it has to sum to 18, so it needs at least one more cell, because we can't make two cells sum to 18, especially if we can't use 9. So these 3 cells or these 4 cells sum to 18. Row 3, sorry, the 3 in row 1 must be colored. Oh, of course. Thank you. So that is done. Now this we should be able to do. If that's a 9, that's already 15, and that's more than 14. So it can't be a 9, and it must be a 7 with a 1 here to make 14. So that 7 tells us that this one is a 4, and this one is a 9, to make this sum to 18 and this sum to 18. That's a 7, that's a 9. That's no longer a 4. There's a 6 down here because these 6s pushing 6 out of the column. That 6 goes in one of those 2 cells. The 1 in this box is actually placed right there. So that's a 1, that's a 6, that's a 6, that's an 8. Now these 4 cells have to add to 15. We already have 1, 6, 3, so that's a 5. Because these add to 10 already, so this has to add to the rest. This cell has to add up to the remainder of this. We already had 12 plus 8 plus 6. We're going to have another 4 in there. So these 3 cells, whoopsie, are going to be 2, 5, and 7 to complete the column. And neither of these 2 cells are 2. That one is actually a 7 because of the 2, 5 there. That's not a 5, so that is a 5, and that's a 2. Very, very pretty puzzle, and very pretty pattern. Oh, it's a heart. Oh, that's so cute. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful puzzle. That's a 9, that's an 8. In here we need an 8. We need a 3, which is going to go there. And we need a 6, which we can't place. So 6, 8 pair in there. Now down here we're going to need a 8 and a 9, I want to say. Which is not placed. There's 3, 6, and what's the last digit here? 7? So that's not a 7. But somehow we haven't resolved it. So we're gonna need to get some magic happening over here. These are 3, 6, and 2. So the 2 is actually placed there. The 3 here tells us that that's a 6, that's a 6, that's an 8. That places a 3 here, 7, 6. Now over here we need 8, 9, and one more digit, which is probably going to resolve everything. The 3. The 3 goes right there. That's a 9, that's an 8, that's a 9. These 2 digits are 7, which goes there, and an 8, which goes there. Okay, that took an hour. It's 2 cats sleeping together. It's so beautiful. It's a pretty cool looking camel, I have to say. But I really appreciate that it forms a heart. Also, the fact that it's like my fiance and I's favorite colors is also really cute. Oh, if Zeta watches this back, no worries about the whole not doing the puzzle that someone gave you for your stream to do for my birthday. I wonder if they gave me the same puzzle, or if it's a random puzzle that was not given to me. A birthday present for Zeta for me. It's 2 camels sleeping together. Just gonna take like a 10-minute, or not even a 10-minute break, like a 3-minute break, just to show my fiance the beautiful pattern that's been made, and then we'll be right back with the next puzzle. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. Oh, we're back. There we go. Thank you, Panthera, for that amazing puzzle. I'm sure everyone noticed how inept I am at Japanese sum Sudoku. Oh, also, I don't think it's actually an hour long. We've only been streaming for, well, it was about 50 minutes, but I did have it up for a little while before. Everyone's always asking that, SPQ. I'll never tell you the secret. Next up, we have a puzzle from 2-10th. I will ping him. And we will get going. Okay, so this is a killer Sudoku, pure killer Sudoku, which is one of my favorite genres, and I'm sure 2-10th knows that. So one thing on killer Sudoku is the digits in the cages sum to the clue in the top left corner, and they can't repeat, but it doesn't even matter in this one because they're all in the columns. So the one thing to know about something like an 8 in a killer Sudoku is that it's either going to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. And both of those have a 1 in them. Now, any number that is lower than 9 is going to have a 1 in its sum if it's 3 cells or more. So this one, there's a 1 in here. So that doesn't really do much except for Lula 1, 7 from here. There are exactly 3 combinations to 8. So these cells are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So these cells are 4, 8, 9, the digits that are not in 8. That was a total fail. But we don't know exactly where those digits are, so we're not going to fill those in. Actually, we know that if this was 1, 2, 5, then this would have no combination. It couldn't be 3, 5, it couldn't be 2, 6, and it couldn't be 1, 7. So it can't be 1, 2, 5, it needs to be 1, 3, 4. Which rules out 4 from here, places 4 there. This has to be 2, 6 now, which means that neither of these two sums could be 2, 6, because if they were, then they would have a value which can't exist because of this. So this needs to be a 2, 6. Now this can't be a 2, 6 either. And in fact, this can't be a 1 or a 3, and this can't be a 1 or a 3. So this is actually a 5, 7 pair. Because they can't be 2, 6. Neither of these cages can be 2, 6 because of the same reason for this cage being looking at them. And these two cells can't have 1 or 3 in them. So they have to be the other cells, or the other digits, 5 and 7. This is a 1, 3 pair now. So this is also a 5, 7, if I can type. And this is a 1, 3. So these two cells are going to be a 2, 6 pair, which makes this cell a 2, 6. We don't need to color the 8 dominoes, I don't think. This is a very cool opening. Now, neither of these two cells or even that cell can be a 2, 6. And this one can't be the same as that one, so this one is the same as this one. Maybe we will color that. Maybe we'll color them. Because, sorry, this is blue now. This is blue. Is that blue? That's not blue for sure. But this one can't be... It can't be blue. It could be a 2, 6 or green, though. This can't be a 2, 6, and it can't be green, so it's blue. The 2, 6 in column 3? Yeah, it was pretty obvious, actually. But, I don't know. I think weirdly, in terms of killer Sudoku, I think a lot weirder than other people. 1, 3 in this column, there's a pair of 1, 3, so these digits are 8, 9, and 5, 7, and the 5, 7 is the green 5, 7. Does that tell us anything? What about 17? What is the... Oh, the 17th of August is the date. So that's why it has 8 and 17. Because August is the 8th month. That one in row 3, column 8 is green. Oh yeah, it can't be 2, 6, because of this cell can't be 2 or 6, and it can't be blue, because this cell can't be blue. So this one must be green. That means that this one can't be green, and in fact, green will have a pair in this row. Those are both the green digits, so this can't be the green 5, 7. So that is an 8, 9. This can't be blue, and it can't be green, so it must be 2, 6. Because, of course, this sees both cells. Column 5, box 8, can't be green or blue. Ah, so if it was green, then both green digits would have to go into this cell. Because if this was green, right, then let's just imagine it's 1, 7. This would be 1, 7. Now 1 and 7 would be rule of those cells. This cell can't be, this cage can't be 1 or 7 because it's the other one. So this would have to be both 1 and 7, which doesn't work. So this cage is not green and not blue, so must be 2, 6. Now this cage can't be green because of this cell can't be green, and this cell also can't be 2 or 6. So this must be blue. Now we have a blue pair in this column as well. 2 and 6 go at the top of this column. I'm not sure where exactly, but they do go up here. Because they can't go in any of these cells. Because they're either blue, green, or can't be 2 or 6. These 2 digits are going to be blue. Because blue, blue, blue. Now, where does the other 2, 6 go in row 5? Well, it doesn't go there because there's a 2, 6 in the box. And it doesn't go in here because there's a 2, 6 in the box. So it goes in one of these 2 cells, but not that one because there's a 2, 6 looking at it. So it does go exactly there. So then, So where does the other blue digit go in column 5? That's not this one. Well, this one is that one. So that blue digit could go at the bottom of the column, but it can't go in here, and it can't go in this box. And it can't go in here because obviously it's not 2 or 6. So this digit in this column can't go in any of those cells. It must be exactly right there. And that's the same digit as that. Row 6, column 4 is 4 or 8, can't be 9. Is that something to do with this? Oh wait, these are 4, 8, 9. If this was a 9, so if this was a 9, right, these 2 cells would have to add to 8. But this is a 2, 6, so this would also have to be a 2, 6, and it can't be for so many reasons. So that can't be a 9. This is probably the point of these 17 cages, because if you put a 9 in them, then you have to make it add to 8. So now, this is really cool, actually. So now, where does green go in this box? It has to go, the 2 green digits are over here because they can't be in any of these cells. So then green in this box can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. So green in this box is exactly there. There are 2 green cells over here, but I'm not sure where they are yet. Where does the other green go in this row? Well, it definitely can't go in any of those cells or any of those cells. I'm talking about this green digit. Can't go in that cell, so it's in one of these 2 cells. These 2 cells actually are, they see every color, so they're 4, 8, 9. Is there anything else like that? This digit is also like that. That's 4, 8, 9. There's a 2, 6 pair here for sure. Where does the other green digit go in this row? I guess it could go either place, right? Yeah, it could go either place. Row 3, column 4, and row, oh yeah, definitely this is 489. And row 3, column 9, also see every color. Wait, maybe. Oh yeah, this is a green pair and this is a 2-6, so that's a 489. So now these two cells have to be 2-6 to make the row. We need to fit both green digits in here. Huh. Not sure about that one. Thought that was going to go somewhere. Oh, you test solved it. It's really fun. Honestly, it's becoming a favorite of mine. Just in this 10 minutes I've been solving it. It's very good. I'm being very silent because I'm trying to look for the next place to look. Because there's so many just very nice, like, quick deductions. What about these 3 cells? So if this adds up to 6, this has to be 11. So that definitely does not add up to 6. So we're going to have to, and it can't add up to 15 either. Or sorry, 14. Oh no, it could add up to 14 and then have a 3 here. 10 would mean that's a 7, and 10 would mean that's a 7. So this is either 3 or 7. That's kind of weird. Oh, welcome, Twototenth. Just in time, nice. I was just saying how this is such a cool puzzle. Row 1, column 5 has to be... Oh yeah, it's only 4 or 8 because there's a 4-9 pair in here. There's another 4 or 8 over here. Oh, and in fact, there's a 4-8 pair down here, or 4-8-9 pair down here. So there's a 1 cell over here that's 4 or 8, and this cell is definitely green. So, wait, this cell is definitely green. Does that mean something to me? That would mean something very profound if that was 7. So down here, we either have 1, 5, which would be the counterpart to this 3, 7, or we have 4, 8, 9. This is a weird pencil mark, so I wanted to do it. Weird for this grid, obviously. This column is kind of interesting because we've already used 2 4-8-9s. Can that be a 9? If these two sum to 8, if this is another 8 domino, it's not green and it's not blue and it's not 2, 6. So that's not 9. So we have a 4-8 pair. So these cells are green, and 9. This is a weird puzzle. Four or 8. 4-8 pair. Green or 9. And odd. Oh, we have all the even digits. It's about parity. Just now realizing this. 5, 7. Why can't this cell be 1, 3? In fact, one of these 2 cells needs to be a 1, 3. Okay. Yeah, green is odd anyway, and 9 is also odd. I just didn't realize that. And yeah, it's not very useful either. I don't think. Maybe it is useful, but I don't see how it's useful. So if this... So where does the 2, 6 in this row go? This one. Well, it's definitely up here, right? But it's not there. Do we know which 2, 6 this is? Because it's the 2, 6 is definitely in one of these two cells. Now the other one is definitely in one of these two cells. So there's sort of a 2, 6 weirdness going on here. Could they both be here? Yeah, probably. Jovi wing? Jovi wing on what? Row 8, column 8? That can't be a lot of things. That can't be any digit which goes in an 8 cage. It can't be green, it can't be blue, and it can't be 2, 6. So it's 4, 8, or 9. So now we have our 4, 8, 9 triple, and that can't be a 9, because if that was a 9, these do have to add up to 8. And if those two add up to 8, this is either an 8, which means this has to be a 0, or this is a 4, which means this has to be a 4. So that can't be a 9. That's a 4, 8 pair now, which means this is an 8. This is a 9, and that's a 9, and that's an 8. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Tall Cat. So now these two sum to 12. Is that right? Yeah, 12. So this is a 5. And it's not a 2, 6, so that is a 2, 6. So now we have a 2, 6 pair in the column, which means that's not a 2, 6. So this is a 2, 6. That's very odd. There's a 2, 6 up here in this 17 cage. Huh. Yes, I did absolutely look at these two cells and conclude that together they could not add to 8, but I didn't consider, well, I did sort of consider that this cell couldn't be any of those things, but I didn't write it down for some reason. This cell can't be a 5 anymore. Oh, this can't have a 5 in it. Green does not have a 5 in it, so this is a 1, 7, which means that this is a 7, which means there's a 1 down here. We should just fill in 1, 7. Yeah, let's just do that. And 3, 5, of course. I'm getting caught up thinking about other things and not, oh, there's a 7 here. So now this is a 9. And this is a 7. And that's not a 9, so this is a 9. That is going to be a 1. Now that's a 1, that's a 7, that's a 7, that's a 1. This is obviously a 3, 5. I don't know the order. That's obviously a 3, 5. That's a 1, 7. I do know the order. That's also a 3, 5. That's a 3, 5. That's a 3, 5. These are 3, 5s. Oh, I do know the order here, which is going to resolve almost everything, right? Not quite. Not quite. But this 3 does resolve that, which means 5 is up here, and 3 is in here. So this is 2, 6, and 3. Whoopsie. So then over here we have a 5, 2, 6, and 3. Now those can't add to 5 because that would make this a 7, or a, if these add to 5, this has to be a 12. And that's, I don't think this is a 12, so there's no 3 in here, or so, there's no 2 in here. We know there's a 3 in here. So so this is a 3, 6, which adds to 9, which means that is an 8. And that's probably going to resolve all the 4 8s, which is just absolutely insane. Very, very cool puzzle we have here today. So what do we do now? Well, we look at this box and we say, there's no 8 here, so that has to be an 8. I'm looking at the chat just a little bit less. Yeah, I can't compute because I'm getting too old. Physics is killing me, really. It's what's going on. This 8 here is actually putting the 4 here. I'm looking at chat a little bit less today because that's 11, so that's going to be a 6 because of, like, I want to sort of solve things that were given to me as gifts. Because if I use the chat to solve them, I don't know, I feel like I'm cheating someone of their work or something like that. I don't know why, but I hope you understand. If I don't look at the chat a little bit less, or if I look at the chat a little bit less than I usually do. This is a 3, 6, obviously, so that's a 2, that's a 6. That's all fixed. Don't know why I didn't say anything throughout the entire sequence of filling in those digits. Usually that's a 5, that's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 7, etc., etc. I felt like being quiet for that moment. I'm not sure why. What are we doing now? Well, we need a 2. Oh, there's no 9 here, of course. So this is a 9, because we have already rolled out 9 from that cell. Now that's a 9. These have to be 1 and 8, which means that that's a pair. That's not a 1. That has to be a... No, wait, that's not a 3, 4. There's already a 3 in the row, so that's a 4. That's a 5. That's definitely not a 4. There's already a 3 in this row as well, so that's a 1, that's a 3. That's going to resolve the 1, 8 thing, giving us a 4 here, a 4 up there. This is going to be a 2 and an 8, which is resolved by this 8, of course. 2 and 6 go in, 6 and 3 go in. I think this is all cleanup, so don't really need a lot of help with it, but just going to do it as fast as possible. And we're done with an 8 there. Wow, that was a really nice puzzle. I am reading the chat, but I just, yeah, you know what I mean. Well, thank you, Twototenth. That was absolutely beautiful. I can't believe that solved so fast. It looked so, like, clean and minimalistic. Count the number of cages. Is there 23? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, 17 cages. Nice. Another 17 reference. And there's a 23 here. That's clearly a reference to my age. And there's a 17 here and a 17 here and a 17 here and a 17 here. Trying to find more random numbers that fulfill the requirements of being something related to my age. Oh, also back with Panthera's puzzle, my fiance also loved it. So, and she said, "Why is there blue?" And I told her that was your favorite color. So, anyways, now we have Ambrose's puzzle, and I think we're just gonna fly right into it. It's only 1:32 on the clock right now, but we will restart anyway, and we have clone Sudoku. So that just means that this E, the positions on it, if we put a 3 there, then we have to put a 3 here as well. So this digit and this digit are going to be the same, this digit and this digit are going to be the same, etc., etc. The same thing for the M, etc., etc. 9 8s in the puzzle. 9 plus 8 equals 17. Mind blown. All right, so clone Sudoku is often about sort of finding the naked singles. So, for example, this cell and this cell see a combined digiting of these cells. So they can't, this cell and this cell can't be 1, 2, 3, 8, or 7. So it can be 9, 5, or 6. Now we need to find something better than that. So we need to find the best place for the digiting. So maybe that one sees those cells and that one, and these two as well. So that can only be 5 or 3, I want to say. 1, 2, 4. Oh, it doesn't see 6. So it's going to be 5, 6, and 3, I think. Yeah. Look at the combined top row of the clones. Oh, did those all see the same digit? Yes, those all see these. Oh, wait. Close. This one can also be an 8, because it doesn't see this 8 in the box. But I think this one is also restricted to that set of cells, set of digits. But maybe these two are also restricted in a similar way. They can't be 1 or 2. Oh, wait. Let's just do something easy. Let's just do something super easy. So look at this row, right? And look at this row. Now these digits are the same in those two rows. So the leftover digits are going to go into these empty spaces here. And they're going to be the same set of digits. And they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. But this digit can't be a 1 because it's already a 3, and this digit can't be a 2 because it's already a 4. Similarly, this digit can't be a 3 or a 4, and this digit can't be a 3 or 4. So in this row, the 3, 4 that have to go into this row are going to go there, because these 3, 4 need to find a home in this row, and they obviously can't go in any of those cells. And the 1, 2 in this row are going to go in those cells. But conveniently, this cell sees that one, so that's a 2, that's a 1. This cell sees that cell, so that's a 4, and that's a 3. And that's probably what was intended. Now, is it similar reasoning in terms of this row and this row? So let's get rid of those pesky... I misclicked. So we're going to get rid of these pesky letter digits. And we can see that it's a similar thing. We have these two gaps in here, which have to be filled by these two digits. So this has to be an 8-9 pair. And this one sees that cell. So that's a 9, and that's a 9, and that's an 8. An 8. That's a 7, and that's a 6. Now, can we do the same thing with this row and this row? Perhaps? Maybe? Or perhaps not. So if we try to locate the 8 in this row, we can't put it there because there's an 8 there. And we can't put it here. Oh, and we can't put it here either because there is an 8 in this box. So the 8 in this row does go there. And the 1 in this row goes in one of those 3 places. So it's a little bit worse, but we still got a digit out of it. There's no 8 in those two cells or those cells or that one. But there could be an 8 here. So there's an 8 in one of these two cells, I guess. That's not an 8. That's important. This not being an 8, because there's an 8 here, is really important, actually, because that makes us 5, 6, 9 triple, which means these two are 7 and 8. Which means these are 7 and 8. I was looking at this row, and I'm like, how can that be an 8? That doesn't make any sense. But then I realized there's an 8 in the box. It's funny, Ambrose, that you say that you used a secret thing in Secret Santa, because I don't know if you remember, but you had me test your Secret Santa puzzle. The pointy bit of the M, this one, is a naked single? Probably. It sees a lot of things, huh? So these two cells see 1, 2, 3, because of this 2. And these cells seeing that. 4, not 5. They see a 6 in the column, see a 7, and see a 9. So they are 5. I was hoping you wouldn't remember. I looked at the this row and this row, and I was like, huh, I think I've done something like this before. I think Ambrose might have even asked me to test something like this before, but it's totally fine. I mean, I like the logic a lot. That is funny though. At least you didn't forget. That would be a disaster if you forgot. Uh, huh. Well, that's not a 9 because it sees a 9. Similarly, that can't be a 9 because it's a clone. So maybe we look at these digits now. Wait, there's so many of those. Oh, that one. Okay. So these digits have to be, well, at least these two have to appear in here. Now these three digits can't be 2 or 3. So these two can't be 2 or 3. Or 5 or maybe 6. They definitely can't be 2 or 3. So I think they have only 3 options, 9, 7, or 6. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they only have 3 options because they can't be 5 now. So that one can't be a 6. So these digits are going to be 1, 6, 7, 9. We've almost narrowed them down. If we could get rid of one of 7 or 9, then we could get this digit as a 3. But I'm not sure if we can do that. This digit sees a lot of numbers. It sees all of those numbers. So this can be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Unfortunately, that does nothing. 4 was eliminated because I forgot that it existed. Thank you. So that is much worse now. As you can see, I'm not very good at doing an elegant clone puzzle. 1 goes in row 1, column 3. 1 goes in row 1, column 3, because it can't go here, because that sees that cell. Okay, so that is a 1, because these two columns can't have 1s in them. So we just have to do Sudoku. From the top clones, the 3 goes on the bottom line of the E. Oh, I see. So these two cells are seen by the 3. So the 3 must go in one of these cells. So it must go in here. So this digit can't be a 3. It needs to be a 6. There's definitely a 3 in one of these 3 cells. And that cell is a 6, which means this cell is a 5, which means this cell is a 6. A 9. There's a loud bang, but it's okay. That means these are not 6. These are not 6. Okay, we're closing in on something interesting. So 3 is definitely in one of these 3 cells, so it definitely can't be there. So it's definitely in one of these 2 cells. So it has to be up here. Something weird about these digits and this box. Something weird there. I'm not sure what to do with it. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on what is weird about that. There's something weird about it. Anyways, so can that digit be 4? Yeah, it can be 4. Maybe we look at Sudoku again. So where does 9 go in the middle box? Here, right? Right, okay, so that's a 9. Where does 9 go in this box? In 3 places, but that one can't be a 9. So it's actually only in 2 places. Oh, whoopsie. So there's 9 pencil marks there, which means that's not a 9. Which means that the 9 in this box is in one of these 3 cells. Can't be in that one because that can't be a 9. Oh, wait. No, can't be in that one because this can't be a 9. Oh, and there's also a 9 in the row. 9 definitely can't go here. So in this box, 9 is in one of these 3 cells. And I think that's all the 9 sort of pencil marked around the grid. Well, I mean, in here. The 3 in column 9 looks down. Yep, that's true. So that can't be a 3 either, which means there is a 3 in here, which means there is a 3 in here. Now, in this thingy, no, that's not useful. 6 is placed in box 1. Yeah, you're totally right, it is. It's placed right there. So then the other 3 digits are going to be 3, 9, and something else, 2. But 2 doesn't see very much of this. I mean, does it see much of the M? Not at all. So that's not that helpful. Although if we fill this in with 2, 3, 9, we can see that this digit is reduced to 2, 3, 9. This is 2 or 3, which is kind of interesting, I guess. These 2 digits are 3 and 4. Which means something about this cell, maybe? I don't think so. So 1 can't go in either of these 2 cells, so 1 is also over here. So 1 is also over here, which means 1 is down here. It's not very helpful either. One, two, three, 4. 4 is over here. 4 is... I think you have a 2, 3, 2, 3, 4 triple in box 8. Row 8, column 5 can only be 2, 3, or 4. Oh, because it can't be a 5 because of this. Right, okay, so this cell and this cell together are reduced to 2, 3, or 4. I should just pencil marking everything, really. This is why I suck at clone Sudoku, because I don't... I try to pencil mark, and then I try not to pencil mark, and then I just end up outwitting myself, really. So then these are a 2, 3, 4 triple. So these 2 cells are 6, which is placed here, and a 1, which is placed here. So there's a 1 in one of these 2 cells. Is that just the last 6? No, there's another 6 right there. I think... No. 6 was just placed. Can't even be 3 on that one. Oh, because there's a 3 in the box, of course. Of course. Okay, so now what? Now we know to look for trouble. So let's look for some trouble here. These can also be 5, but they can't be 2, they can't be 1 or 3. So they're 2, 4, and 5. Is that helpful? No. What about these 2? Those can be 4. They can be 7. They can't be 9, but they can be 2 or 3, I think. Not 3, but 2 for sure. 2's in column 5 lookup? Right, there's a 2 pencil mark here, which looks up at that. That's for sure. But then it also looks up in this box, which says that there's a 2 placed right here, which gives us a 9 over here, which gives us a 2-3 pair in this box and a 2-3 pair in this row now. Oh, sorry. Which places a 9 down here as well. Which gets rid of 9s over here, places a 9 over here, placing a 9 here. So that was helpful. Very, very helpful. So 7, 8 in here, which will be placed there. And the other 7, 8 is going to go in one of those 2 cells. But the 7 in this column has to be right there, doesn't it? Yeah, the 7 in this column is forced to be there. So that's a 3, that's an 8, that's a 7. That's an 8, that's a 7, that's an 8. This is 2, 4, or 5. This is 1 and 5. So that's definitely 1 or 5. That's definitely a 3. That's not a 3. That's not a 3 either. So that is the 3. Good evening, Pause. Off to bed. Rough day. Well, thank you for the happy birthday wish, and have a good rest of your night, I guess. Hopefully your sleep is better than the day. Solves the M spikes. Yes, we got this. We got that. That's not a 7 anymore. So that is a 4. So that's a 7. So now the digit that's outside of here is 4, not 7. Because that is a 7. There's a 7 up here, which is placed. 7 down here, which is placed. That's obviously a 3, 4 pair, which we can't do anything with, I don't think. No, we can't do anything with that. This is a 5, 8 pair, which we can do something with. That's an 8. That's a 5. That's a 5 now. So now this is a 5. So 2, 3 pair, which gives us that this is a 5, which is already placed by the clone, of course. That's not a 5. So now 5 in this row is placed here. That makes that a 1. That's a 1 now. So that's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 2. This is a 1, 4, and that's resolved. This is a 2, of course. That's a 4. 4 here. 2. This 4 resolves the 3 and the 4, which resolves the 2 and the 3, which is going to resolve this 2 and 3, which means that there's a 2, not a 2, a 7, no, an 8, and a 4. Yay! That was also a very nice puzzle. If I hadn't seen the trick before, I would have been much more impressed. I was very impressed the first time. I believe I said it was like the best clone Sudoku I've ever done or something. But I've seen the trick before because Ambrose did the trick before, and I had me test it. But I really like the, of course, meme and the clone Sudoku, and the trick is very cute. And it's good that it's showcased in something a bit more public than Secret Santa. Secret Santa is always like, only like 3 things actually get recognized or something. And then everything else is just, okay, it's done. I'm just gonna take a drink of water and then we can finish off with the last Sudoku that we have. This one is by dumediat, I will ping dumediat. And I never gave him a link, or her, them, I guess, is the proper way to say that. All right, so I feel like I left one of the harder ones for the end, but I guess we will persevere through these birthday gifts, persevere through the birthday gifts, I guess. Uh, so the M and the E are Renban lines, which are consecutive and non-repeating. So, and they're completely aligned. So this E is not like 5 lines. It's actually just 1 line. So it's an 8-cell line, an 8-cell line, and a 7-cell line here. These dots are consecutive dots, so they have to be consecutive with each other. And these cages sum to either 8, like that, or they sum to 17, like that. And one of those two things is a lot more force than the other. So let's try this. We will restart the timer and try to do this. So these two obviously sum to 8, because we can't do an 8, 9 in these. It's just not going to work. So we can sort of fill these in with their candidates, I guess. Can't be a 7, I guess. So these 8-cell Renbans are either missing 1 or they're missing 9. Now, if these cells are missing 9, they're all 8. They all sum to 8, because obviously you need to make 8, 9, and you can't do that if you don't have a 9. Same thing with these ones. I feel like that is important. Row 1 cages are also 8? Oh, absolutely. Those also see the 8 in the row, so they must sum to 8 themselves, because they can't sum to 17. So we can't be too liberal with our 17 cages. Most of these have to sum to 8. Now I guess we can color these again. This will be sort of the one combination of 8, this will be the other combination, and this will be the third combination. This is either going to be that combination or that combination. Now if this was green, these two would not be blue, and they would not be green. So they would both be red, which doesn't work. So this has to be blue as well. And these are green and red. Oh wait, no, those don't have to sum to 8. I always forgot. I literally already forgot that those don't have to sum to 8. Whoopsie. Row 4, column 6. It's the 18th in Australia. That's funny. It's the only digit in the line that isn't in a cage. And only one digit can never be in a cage. 4? Right, okay, so these digits are all in cages, and they're on a Renban that contains all the digits from 2 to 8 for sure, and then either 1 or 9. So it definitely has a 4 on it, and 4 cannot go in an 8 cage and cannot go in a 17 cage. So it must be there. So now this one can't be 4, so 4 is in one of these 3 cells. Similarly, one of these 2 is a 4. One of those 2 is a 4. Is there a row or column with a similar situation with 4. Actually, wait, these are a set of digits, right? And they have to have an 8 in them. Now, unless that 8 goes here, this has to have a 9 on it. And in fact, that 8 can't, no, it could. Actually, that 8 can't go in one of these two cells, because if we put the 8 in one of these two cells, obviously this can't be a 9 because we need the 8 to have a 9 with the 17 sum. But it can't be a 7 either, because if it is a 7, then this is a 1, and this needs to be a 9, but now we have 9 and 1, and we're not going to be able to make an 8-cell line. So the 8 can't go in either of those, and the 8 can't go in either of those, because if those were 8s, then that would be a 9, that wouldn't work. Because that would need an 8 on the line as well. So we can't put 8 in any of those cells. We could put an 8 in here, or an 8 in here. But these two sum to 8 now. So those can be filled with those digits, just to keep track of which ones sum to 8 and which ones sum to 17. This one can't be blue for sure. This one can't be green for sure. So this is either blue or red, and this is either red or green. Something about that strikes me like this, because these being consecutive means that they're not the same type. Right? Because if they were consecutive, they can't be, you can't do 3 and 5 next to each other, right? On a consecutive dot here. So these have to be different combinations. So they can't both be red. So whatever this is sort of the third color here. Wait, so that means this is a 17 cage. Because if this was blue, then this would be red, this would need to be green because of the consecutive dot, and now this cage sees red, sees green, sees blue. Same thing if this is blue, or if this is green, this will be red, and this will be blue, and now this sees green, blue, and red. So this one is an 8-9 cage. Oh, that was hard, but really cool. So there's an 8 in one of these 3 cells. Now it's probably on the line. Four in the top of the M is placed? Oh, I don't know. Wait. Yeah, I totally looked at these ones. Ambrose. Or not Ambrose. 2-10th. And I didn't look at this. Obviously, this is a 7-cell line, but it still needs a 4 on it because you can't do 7 digits in a row without using a 4. And the 4 can't go in any cell other than this one. So that is a 4. Which means that in this box, the 4 is constrained to those 2 cells. In this box, the 4 is constrained to those 2 cells. And I think that's the only thing we really get out of that. But so I don't feel as bad about not seeing it. But now we need to focus on, well, these 2 cells. This is interesting. These 2 cells sum to 8 because you have every other thing. You have 2 cells that sum to 8, 2 cages that sum to 8, 1 cage that sums to 17, one thing that sums to 4. So these 2 are the leftovers, which are the other sum to 8. Now they can't be green because it sees green. So it needs to be red. So these are red. These are green. So this can't be green. This needs to be blue. So this is red. And I'm not going to color the 8 9s, so we do know which ones sum to 8 now because they're colored. So I don't need to pencil mark them like crazy. I'll just read the chat really quickly. You have 3 distinct 8 cages that all can't be the same cage in row 3, column 4, 5. Oh, you were just talking about this one. Okay. The unmarked cells in box 2 have to be an 8 cage. Yes, I noticed that. So they have to be red, right? So the other red digit is actually down here. I didn't notice that because these reds align, so there's no red here. So there has to be red over here. And the green digit can't be down here, so it must be right there. So that's green. It's not 4. So that's a 4, and there is a 4 down here with the red digit. So we'll do that. Blue in box 3 is in these cells. Oh, that's cool. So blue in box 3, actually maybe we should just talk about this cell. This cell sees 4, it sees 8. It sees red, it sees blue, it sees green. So it must be 9. There's no other digit. So then this can't be an 8-9 cage, so it can't have an 8 in it. So it must be blue. That's a different way of seeing the same point that SPQ was pointing out. So this must be an 8 and that must be a 9 because there has to be an 8 on this thing, this E. Now there can't be a 9 on this E anymore because the 9 would have to go with an 8 in the cage. And actually 9 is ruled out from every cell in there anyway. So there's a 1, 7, of course. So what does this do now? These 2 cells are 9 and green. There's a 9 down here. So I'm wondering about 8 and 9 on this thing. Eight and 9 on this thing. How is that affected? Well, they definitely can't be there or there or there because an 8 or 9 here would mean an 8 and 9 here. 9 can't be in these 2 cells. Oh, 9 can't be in here at all. Well, 9 definitely can't be there. And 8 definitely can't be there because... No, 8 could be there. 8 could be here, but 9 can't be there. So this could be an 8, 9, I think. Only if it was 8, 9 like that. So this could be 8, 9, or 8 here. So is the only place for 8 in this box in these 2 cells, I think? Is that the case? Which means that this is an 8, 7 pair, right? Well, 8 can't be on here because that would need a 9. 8 can't be in here because that would need a 9. And 8 can't be here, of course. If 8 was here, that would be a 9, and this would be an 8, and that would be 2 8s on the line. Yeah, so 8 is in these 2 cells. Can't go with a 9, so it must go with a 7. So this is either 9 or 1. So therefore, this is a 4, because it needs to be not in a cage, but on the line. This can't be 15 anymore. And it can't be red, and it can't be green, so it must be blue. This can't be red, it can't be blue, so it must be green, because it can't be blue because it's on the same line, and it can't be red because it sees red, so it must be green. This one is either summing to the 15, or the, sorry, 17, or it's red. So if it's red, then it's a 1, 7, and red is 1, 7, which would be interesting. Hello, dumediat. Welcome. I'm glad you can pop in for a few minutes. Thank you for the happy birthday, and thank you for the puzzle. It's really interesting. If this was red, then that would be a 1, and that would be a 7, and that would be a 7. Now, there does need to be a 7 on here, because there's an 8 or 9 on here. In fact, there's an 8 or 9 on a 7-cell Renban. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can never have a 1 on here either. So 1 in this box is in these cells. Not that one, sorry. These cells. So either green is 1, 7, which looks like it still works, or red is 1, 7. Four in box 3 is placed, right? Okay. So that is red, and that is 4. And then box 9, it would be placed here, right? Okay. Nice spot. So then 4 in this box is in one of these 3 cells, but 4 on this line, which it must appear on this line, can't appear in any of those cells or that cell, so it must be here. So those are not 4. That's a 4 now. The 4 in this box is placed as well, so we have all the 4s. Beautiful. Green isn't 1, 7, C's 2. Oh, here's a good way to think about this. So I said either this is 1, 7, which would have to be red, or if this is not 1, 7, then, well, then 1, 7 could still be red, but it can't be, oh no, it can't be red. Because if this was not 1, 7, then this would be a 7. And that would see actually, oh wait, there's a much simpler way to think about this. There's a much simpler way to think about this. There are 2 blues looking at this cell. There are 2 reds looking at this cell. And there are 2 greens looking at this cell. So this cell cannot be any digit that goes in an 8 cage. So particularly, it can't be 7. So it is an 8, this is a 7, this is a 1. This must be a red combination, which means that we can fill this one in with 1 and 7. That was much easier than what we were going to do before. So this is a 1 and a 7 as well. This is a 1, 7, of course. So this is either 2 or 6. Oh, beautiful. Now we know what this is. I don't think I've ever seen sort of that idea before. Disambiguating what a set of 8 cages are using a consecutive dot. That's kind of cute. That's a 1, 7, of course. This is going to be a 2, 6. Now, this can't be 8, 9 anymore. And it can't be red. Could be green, though. Or, sorry, could be green or blue, I guess. This one can't be 8, 9. It can't be red. So that one is also green or blue, but it sees green, actually. So that one's blue, so this one can't be blue. So that's green, so that's this 2, 6. 2, 6, and 3, 5. This one can't be 17 because it sees a 9. So, and it can't be blue. And it can't be red. It can be actually red. Oh, weird. It can be red, and it can be 2 or 6, I think. I don't see why this can't be red. Oh, wait. Could it be... Oh, the 7 on this is actually placed here, because there needs to be a 7 on an 8-cell line. It needs to be an 8 as well, so this is either 8 or 8. This has to be 8, 9, because it can't be 8, 1. So that means there's a 7 over here. And there's a 1 over here. But 1 can't go on this line because it has an 8 or 9. And if it has an 8, it can only go down to 2 if it's 7 cells long. So this has to be the 1 in this box. Making that a 7 and a red cage. We're done with our coloring now. I'm going to get rid of the coloring that's not in cages, just to be, because I don't want to color the whole grid. The 2-6 was a nice surprise. Oh, this one. Yes, that was a nice surprise. I think I sort of figured that was going to happen, but I didn't like completely understand that was going to happen. Actually, the 2-6 in this box is placed into here. Wait, I just said I'm not coloring cells that are not in cages. So then one of the 2-6 is going to go right here, and the other one is going to go in here. That's definitely a 2 or 6. Wee you. What about... I was thinking 4, but we've already placed all the 4s, so... what about that cell? Oh, that's definitely a 2 or 6. Oh, no, wait. That could be something like a 9, I think. If that was a 9 and this is an 8, and this is a 6, we don't need to include a 2. So this is either 9, 2, or 6, I think. And it can't be 8 because there's an 8 in the row. Although, no. In here we need a 5. Oh wait, there could be a 5. Oh wait, this row needs a 2 and a 6. So this cell is a 9. So that's not a 9. 2-6 pair now here, so these are 3, 5, and 9, I want to say. Oh, and one more digit, 8. So that's not an 8. This is an 8-9 pair. This is an 8-9 pair here, and it's resolved by the row. So that's a 9, that's an 8. That's not an 8, that's not a 9. Those are not 9s. Those are not 9s, so that's a 9. So that's not a 9. And that's a 3-5 pair, which places an 8 in the column. We have to be almost done of 8s now, are we? Yes, we are. That's an 8, that's a 9, that's an 8, that's a 9. That doesn't resolve whether this is 2-6 or 9. Oh, yes, it does, because 9 now is placed in this box. It's actually placed right there. So that has to be a 6. That has to be 2-6. There's a 3-5 in here, and there's also a 2. Which I don't know where to put. In this column, we need 1, which has to go here, and a 3-5 pair. Which means that this digit is known to be a 7, because there's everything else in the row. That has to be a 9, of course. That's the last 9, I think. And then in these cells, we need 3, 1, and 5. That's not a 1. This cell is 3, 5, or 1. And that's not a 1 because there's a 1 in the row. So this cell is a 1 or 7. So this is known to be a 2. This is a 3, 5 now. So this has to be a 2-6 to finish off that row. This 2-6 and this 2-6 form a pair to give us a 3-5 down here. This 7 sees that 1-7, so that's all going to be resolved, making that a 1. Finishing off the 1s and 7s, but we still... Oh, this one is next to a 2, so that's a 2-6. That's a 2-6. That's a 2-6. This is nice. It's going to flow all the way over to here, where it resolves this one. and give us the 3 5s as well. Very nice. Very nice. I would much rather have like an intricate setup like this with a bunch of crop key dots, or like a couple crop key dots that interact nicely with the grid, rather than just like one crop key dot. I mean, even if you had to resolve 2 deadly patterns, that was kind of a nice little flow at the end. Yeah, really nice finish. I think you would like that finish, Twototenth. I don't think I've ever written a solution guide for someone else's puzzle, but interesting comment, Logan. I've never considered that. Thank you for the puzzle, dumediat. Thank you for all the puzzles, everyone who gave me puzzles. Panthera, Twototenth, Ambrose, and dumediat. All very nice puzzles, and all very appreciated on my birthday. As I said in the stream discussion, I usually don't like to sort of like flaunt my birthday or whatever, or flaunt anything really. But yeah. But I'm glad we got 7. I was thinking of the digit 7 for some reason. I'm glad we got 4 puzzles, which was a very nice number to do the stream with. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. That's 2 puzzles per hour. Pretty good. And they were all very nice solves, very clean puzzles. So thank you guys. And yeah, I think that's everything. And we'll probably, yeah. Okay, now I'll probably solve it off stream. Make sure everyone shows up tomorrow for the codec interview stream. That will be very interesting. Thank you. We'll be going out to dinner, so it'll be a nice rest of the day. You came back just in time for the end of the stream. Sorry, Logan, we have streams tomorrow that will be about 2 hours as well, but streams tomorrow, and you can always watch the other streams if you want. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. Please like and subscribe if you are interested in this content. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Bye.